Happy Oscar nomination morning to those who celebrate. We're about 2 minutes away from the nominations being announced. Thought I'd just hop on a couple minutes early. Again, first off, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, in the nominations video, that again, apologize if at any point during this reaction if my camera freezes or if the audio gets desynced. For some reason, it's been doing that, and then I mentioned it in yesterday's video, and it was totally fine for the whole video. So maybe it's one of those things. If I keep mentioning it, it's not going to happen to make me look dumb. But just a quick rundown over a couple categories. I posted that the predictions video yesterday. I didn't change anything from that video, which is crazy because usually I'm like always tinkering, like to the last possible second. Usually the morning of, I make some switch. If I would make a switch, it's the Alexander Payne. I feel like he's getting in over Greta Gerwig, but I just refuse to snub Greta Gerwig again, like exactly like what happened in 2020, where last second Todd Phillips, took over. Let me pull up my nominations here. And again, I so I have like a notebook here with all the nominations, and then so I'm gonna be making some notes, crossing some things off along the way. So hopefully it's not too loud. But I'm just the type that if as the announcements are happening, if I don't have like my notes in front of me, I'm gonna miss it if something gets snubbed. And so hopefully me turning pages isn't going to be too loud for the audio. Um, but yeah, just a quick little rundown. So in my predictions, I meant to put this at the end of yesterday's video, but I forgot. I'm currently predicting Oppenheimer to lead the way in nominations with 13, which I don't think it's gonna get 13, but I don't know which ones I would snub it in. Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon I have at 11 nominations apiece. Killers of the Flower Moon was a surprise to me. I didn't think it would be that high. So again, I think Killers of the Flower Moon will get snubs here and there. We'll just see in what categories those are. And then Barbie I have in fourth with 10 nominations. So those are the four that I'm predicting double-digit nominations for. But yeah, with Barbie, I don't think it's going to quite get 10 either. So it's one of those that the more I looked at my nominations from yesterday's video, all of the Best Picture nominees I have in so many other categories, which doesn't feel right. Like I feel like a lot of them are going to get less nominations than I'm predicting, which means I think that this morning we're going to get a lot of surprise nominations that no one's expecting, and so I think it's going to make it for a very exciting Oscar nomination morning, and hopefully an exciting reaction video. Actor in a supporting role, so we're starting off with a heavy hitter. Sterling K. Brown. I can't believe I got that prediction right. So Willem Dafoe missed. So it's probably going to be Ruffalo. Ryan Gosling, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., and then it's going to be Mark Ruffalo. Dang. So I got a little too greedy. I already got the Sterling K. Brown, and I tried greeting with Willem Dafoe too. Alright, costume design. Barbie. Killers of the Flower Moon. Napoleon. Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. There's a 5 for 5 category. Makeup and hairstyling. Golda. Maestro. Oppenheimer, Poor Things Society. Poor Things and then Society of the Snow. Another 5 for 5 category. That's weird. Back to back. Live action short. Okay, here's where the 5 for 5s are going to end. The After did get in. Invincible. I went 1 for 5 there. Crazy. Okay, Letter to a Pig. 95 Senses. Our Uniform. Pashidun. And War is Over. Okay, I got 3 out of 5. That's kind of about what you expect usually in the short categories. Adapted Screenplay. American Fiction. Barbie. So I think that means Zone of Interest is out, because I don't see it knocking out any of these other top 3. Except there goes Killers of the Flower Moon. Oh my gosh, so it's Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone. Oh my gosh, it's Zone of Interest over Killers. Wow, Killers of the Flower Moon is out in screenplay. Oh, I'm already doing the second screenplay. Anatomy of a Fall. Good. Holdovers. Then next up should be Maestro. Maestro, and then this is where it's going to be, if it's May December, it's going to come in here. And there's May December. So there goes, and then Past Lives will be the 5th one, so there goes my Saltburn bold prediction. So May December already gets its 1 nomination. Saltburn's still looking to see if I can't maybe get Rosamund Pike in. And then Actress in a Supporting Role. Emily Blunt. Danielle Brooks. And then here's where it's going to get exciting to see what happens here. America Ferrera for Barbie. Wow, so yeah, Barbie is going to get Jodie Foster, so Julianne Moore's out, and then Da'Vine Joy Randolph. So I was right that May December was getting 1 nomination. It wasn't Julianne Moore, it was the screenplay. So crazy. Alright, so now they're taking their little break. Let me just run through a couple of the announced categories. We'll start just back with the shorts. Animated short, I got 3. Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses in Our Uniform. Smoke and 27 were the other 2 that I predicted that didn't get in. Live action short, the only one I got was The Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar. So it was The After, Red, White, and Blue, Invincible, and then because it was happening so fast, I didn't even have, it was Night, let me pull up my phone here, Night of Fortune. Yeah, so it's crazy because the way I always do this is I write down my 5 predictions that I have, and then to the side I have 5 more, like not necessarily honorable mentions, but 5 potential alternates, And so to tell you how bad I did in live action, I wrote down my 5 predictions, I wrote down the 5 possible alternates, and then both Invincible and Night of Fortune got nominated that I didn't even have in like the alternates. So that's how bad I did in that category. Moving on up, makeup, 5 for 5 on makeup, and then 5 for 5 on costumes. Back to back was surprising that and then started off with actor in a supporting role where I went 4 for 5 and then back to back 5 for 5s, and I was getting really excited that I was going to have a incredible and so far other than short categories I've gone 4 for 5 in every category, which is nice. Original screenplay, I had the gut prediction of going with Saltburn over May December. Honestly, I like May December screenplay better than Saltburn, so I'm fine with the nomination. Just missed that, and then we go to adapted screenplay, Killers of the Flower Moon. I think I remember when I was tinkering with predictions, I think I had for a second, I mentioned in my prediction video that I put the Zone of Interest in because I thought it was going to get in, and then I like alternated because obviously I knew Oppenheimer wasn't gonna miss. I knew Barbie wasn't gonna miss. But I like tinkered by putting in there of um, do I drop Poor Things? Do I drop American Fiction? How do I squeeze Zone of Interest in here? Do I drop Killers of the Flower Moon? And ultimately, I just didn't feel like I could drop any of them. So it's crazy that Killers of the Flower Moon missed in screenplay to get Zone of Interest in there. Supporting actress, 4 out of 5, I think, is incredible in that category because there were so many different possibilities of how that could have gone. I'm excited for America Ferrera. I liked her in the movie. I know a lot of people didn't think she was worthy of a nomination, so we'll see how people react to that on the internet today. Alright, looks like they are back. Original song. The Fire Inside from Flaming Hot. Of course, the Diane Warren. I'm Just Ken. It's a long applause break for everyone to get their cheers in for Diane Warren. It Never Went Away. Wajaji, the Killers of the Flower Moon song. So that means either Road to Freedom missed because there's no way. I was like, there's no way they were cutting What Was I Made For. So Road to Freedom out. So I was predicting 2 Rusted nominations. So it already lost one of them. Original score. Ooh, American Fiction. I didn't even have that as a Indiana Jones. And Poor Things. So no Spider-Man. Interesting. Documentary. Bobby Wine, I didn't predict that. Eternal Memory, I didn't predict that either. 4 Daughters. So that means American Symphony and Beyond Utopia. To Kill a Time. Whoa. So I only went 2 of 5 there. Beyond Utopia, American Symphony, Going to Mars, all not nominated. Doc Short. ABC's a book banning. Barber of Little Rock, I didn't predict that. I didn't predict that either. I did get Last Repair Shop. I think Nine Nine and WIPO is Grandma and Grandma. International. Io Capitano. The Teacher's Lounge. I had that bold prediction, but I missed. So Io Capitano and Perfect Day. So that means Fallen Leaves and Totem both missed, as well as Taste of Things. So a lot of. All right, animated. Boy and the Heron. I think this is a 5 for 5 category for me. Elemental. And then Nimona. Spider-Man and TMNT. Robot Dreams. So no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. People were predicting the snub. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. All right, production design. Barbie. Yes. Killers of the Flower Moon. Is this Oppenheimer Poor Things Zone? Napoleon. So the Zone of Interest snubbed in production design. Alright, and then editing. Editing, okay. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon. Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Okay, it went 5 for 5. Sorry, a little hiccup. I got an ad in the middle of that. Alright, sound. Ooh, The Creator. Mission Impossible Maestro I didn't have. And for sound. Okay, visual effects. The creator. Godzilla -1 did get in. Nice. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then is this Indiana Jones? And this is Mission Impossible. And Napoleon. So no Society of the Snow or Indiana Jones. Cinematography. El Conde did end up getting in. Killers of the Flower Moon. Maestro. Oppenheimer. Poor Things. So Zone of Interest out, El Conde in. So Zone of Interest is getting fewer than I thought. Okay, the big ones. Here we go. Actor. Bradley Cooper. And then this is right here. This is the only up for grabs if it's Coleman Domingo or Leo. And it's Coleman Domingo. So Rustin lost original song, but it still keeps Coleman Domingo. And then Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Zone of Interest. So this is going to be a 5 for 5 category. So there's Cillian, and then Jeffrey Wright to close us out. Jeffrey Wright. Alright, there's 5 for 5. And then actress. Annette Bening, who got snubbed. Lily Gladstone. I feel like it's Margot Robbie just got snubbed to get Annette Bening in. Sandra Hüller. And then it's Mulligan and Emma Stone. Margot Robbie just got snubbed. No Margot Robbie. I'm not feeling good about Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig's the first name up, so let's see. Justine Triet. So we still did get it. Scorsese. So Greta Gerwig got snubbed, but for Justine Triet. So Nolan, and then Lanthimos and Glazer. And Glazer. So Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie both snubbed back to back. And then Picture. And so this, I feel like it's got to be just the 10 out of 10. I think we're going 10 for 10. I think it's the SAG 10 here. Nothing's happened to make me think something different here. American Fiction. Anatomy of a Fall. Barbie. The Holdovers. Nice. I'm running through the Barbie nominations in my head. I think it got Killers of the Flower Moon. I think Barbie only ended up with maybe like 6 or 7 nominations. Honestly, it might have only got like 5 because it got snubbed in multiple spots. Maestro. Oppenheimer. So then, yeah, this is the PGA 10. It's going to be Past Lives, Poor Things, Zone of Interest. No surprises. Past Lives. Poor Things. And Zone of Interest. And Zone of Interest. Yep. So PGA 10 for 10. There's the nominations. Let's do one quick, just kind of brief run through, and then maybe I might make a kind of a more in-depth video, kind of talking about the nominations. But Picture 10 out of 10. I think everyone, for the most part, was predicting it. I think people were trying to get cute and put some other things in there, but for the most part, we all had this PGA 10. Director. So Greta Gerwig did get snubbed, but it was for Justin Triet, so it was still for another female director. So Alexander Payne, still didn't get in, which is everyone was trying to force Alexander Payne in there, which is why the whole Greta Gerwig getting snubbed discussion was even happening. So Justine Triet taking her spot, actress Margot Robbie missing for Annette Bening. That's it's crazy to me that. I mean, so in theory, you snubbed both Margot Robbie and Greta Lee, in my mind, to get Annette Bening in there. Um, and then actor, I went 5 for 5. Cooper, Domingo, Giamatti, Murphy, Wright. Supporting actress, amazingly went 4 for 5. The only thing I had Julianne Moore in instead of America Ferrera. Um, I'm now running this through, so in my head, I think if I'm not mistaken, that means May December got one nomination, and it was just for screenplay. It didn't get any acting. And then Saltburn, I was predicting for one nomination for screenplay, just didn't even get in. Supporting actor, again, surprisingly 4 for 5. Sterling K. Brown, De Niro, Downey Jr., and Gosling. And then I tried getting cute by doing Dafoe over Ruffalo, but they ended up going with Mark Ruffalo. Adapted screenplay, we talked about Killers of the Flower Moon being the surprise miss there. Zone of Interest taking its spot. Original screenplay, that's another 4 for 5. May December in over Saltburn from my predictions. International, Society of the Snow, and Zone of Interest, I think were the only two locks that that for the most part everyone had. And then the Teacher's Lounge was my kind of out there pick that I was making, so I got that. But then it was Perfect Days and Io Capitano that got in over The Taste of Things, Fallen Leaves, Totem, kind of those three films that I think a lot of people were predicting. So international film, I feel like that's a category every year that always is different. Animated, The Boy in the Heron, Elemental Nimona, Spider-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem missed for Robot Dreams. I think, if I remember right, I think Robot Dreams was a film that the Oscar expert and Brother Bro that they talked about a decent amount, because I think that's the only reason I'd even heard of it. So excited to go find Robot Dreams and see what that's about. Documentary, I went 2 for 5. This is probably my worst category. 4 Daughters, 20 Days in Mariupol, but then it was To Kill a Tiger, Bobby Wine, and Eternal Memory were the three that got in there. Editing, I went 5 for 5. Cinematography, I went 4 for 5. The Zone of Interest missed for El Conde in this category. Visual effects, I went 3 for 5. So I'm so glad Godzilla -1 got in there, because obviously, that is one of the best visual effects feats of the year. Guardians of the Galaxy, so you did get your one Marvel a movie in there. The Creator for visual effects, and then I'm glad that Mission Impossible, I think it got multiple nominations. I'm glad, because I really enjoyed Mission Impossible. Interesting, I did notice, I feel like there was that press release that came out a couple days ago that they had changed the name from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, had gotten rid of the Part 1 in the official title, but during the announcements they kept calling it Part 1, so... but yeah, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and Napoleon in, so... Interesting that Indiana Jones missed in visual effects, but then still got in for score, so it still got its one nomination, just in the different category than what I was predicting. And then, Society of the Snow, that was a kind of a miss there, so I think that means Society of the Snow only got 2 nominations then, and I was predicting it for 3. Production design went 4 out of 5. Zone of Interest missed here for Napoleon. So, Napoleon got, I feel like, a lot of kind of surprise nominations. And then the Zone of Interest, I feel like, kind of got snubbed a little bit. I'll be interested to see the final tally count, because, let me, again, great video work here. Me looking at my phone, but I was predicting 6 nominations for the Zone of Interest. I think it maybe only got 4. I don't think it got as many as I was predicting. So the production design, costume, I went 5 for 5. Makeup and hair went 5 for 5. Best score, I went 3 of 5. It was just Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Indiana Jones, I kind of had an inkling of that getting in. American Fiction, this is a nice. I haven't seen American Fiction, so I don't know what the score is, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think that's a nice nomination to to kind of get American Fiction's like tally count up, a little bit, because I think I had it. Past Lives, I was only predicting for two. American Fiction, I think, might have been the next Best Picture movie that I was kind of predicting for the least amount of nominations. So I'm glad that it was able to get an extra nomination here in score. It does suck that it was at the expense, I think, of Spider-Man. Is the Across the Spider-Verse not getting in? So that means, yeah, Spider-Man was like up for potentially 4 nominations, and I think it just got the one for animated, which I think makes the race between The Boy and the Heron and Across the Spider-Verse actually pretty exciting for animated feature. Sound, I want to look at the sound. I think this is, again, great video here, but I think I might have wrote down the wrong category on my sound. Yeah, I don't sound, because yeah, I completely wrote the wrong, because as it was going on, I was like looking at this category and I was like, I don't have any of these. So sound, I was predicting Ferrari, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Zone of Interest. So Maestro, Zone of Interest, so I got, and Oppenheimer, so I got 3, and then it was Mission Impossible and The Creator. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm glad I had the thought, because initially it looked like I only got 1 out of 5 in that category, but I got 3 out of 5 because I had Maestro and I had Zone of Interest. I started blending. I think I started blending sound and score on when I was writing this down, or I just wrote down score twice. So, but that's interesting. So Ferrari missed there, which means Ferrari didn't get any nominations, because I think that was the only spot I was predicting it. So no nominations for Ferrari, which I think was like kind of in contention for like a bunch of different. So that's interesting that it just ended up getting nothing. Original song, I went 4 for 5, so they snubbed Lenny Kravitz for Road to Freedom, and then they put in Wajaji, is that how they pronounced it? The nom for Killers of the Flower Moon. Documentary short, I went 2 for 5. Last Repair Shop and ABCs of Book Banning were the 2 that I got. Oh, so I didn't even have like time to process. So that means Camp Courage missed, which I was confident, the next Netflix film. Black Girls Play, the story of hand games, I had that in there, so that missed. Barber of Little Rock, I know a lot of people were kind of predicting that. And then, what was so again, I had another one that I didn't even have written down. It was Island in Between, is that what it was called? Yeah, Island in Between. Poetic look at the uneasy peace on the front line between Taiwan and China. Yeah, I didn't even have that as like on one of my alternates. So Island in Between, and then Grandma and Grandma. It had the different title that they announced, but I'm pretty sure that was the same one. Yeah, it's Nene and Waipo. So that's the Grandma and Grandma. And then, so that was documentary short, live action short. This was my worst category, 1 for 5. I had The Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar as the only one that I predicted. It was The After, Red, White, and Blue, Invincible, and Night of Fortune. A bunch of that I didn't even have in the alternate, so that was by far my worst category. And then animated short, Letter to a Pig, 95 Cents is Our Uniform, and then it was War is Over and Pack It Down that were the other 2 that got in, so... Again, exciting Oscar nomination morning. I'm gonna do the kind of quick rundown of this tally and see how good I did. I feel like for the most part, I think this year more so than others, I did better in like a lot of the top categories, which I think goes to show that this was just kind of ultimately kind of a more predictable Oscars than we've had in years past. There's only a couple categories that were like really up in the air, and then even on those categories that were up in the air, I still think I did pretty good. So yeah, we'll make count this all up, see exactly how I did, and again, I think maybe I might make another video kind of breaking down some of these nominations a little bit more, kind of breaking down maybe the nomination totals for each film, and kind of seeing the grand picture of what these nominations held. But if I don't make that video, then just know for sure that this year, I know I promised this last year that I was gonna make some more videos, but this year I really think I will. I've been getting kind of in the hang of making these videos here on YouTube, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I think this year for sure I'm gonna, as I watch all of these Oscar nominated films again, I think along the way I'm definitely going to be making some more videos for you, either some category breakdowns or maybe some tier lists, or just kind of ranking films in each category. So yeah, just stay tuned to the channel. I think there's going to be a lot of exciting content coming up the next couple months as we approach the Academy Awards. So thank you for watching and have a great day.